Is Warhammer the Old World coming out in 2023? That's the question for today, and the reason I'm asking this is that there was a little bit of information in the update that was provided yesterday that I did not quite see. And really, I actually do look at this and I think maybe they are strongly hinting at 2023. It's certainly possible. So let's jump back in and we'll have a relook at the article from yesterday. So the key thing here is from a statement from Handy Haw. I don't really know how you say that name, and I feel like any way I say it with my northern accent, it's going to sound crazy. But Andy says a couple of things, but the key thing is here. Our miniatures designers, painters, writers, illustrators, and graphic designers have all been engaged in a period of industrious activity, getting new miniatures designed and the main rulebook written, play tested, lavishly illustrated, and laid out. Now, the key thing here for me is this one word, play tested. Now, you can't generally play test something until you have something to play test. Something has to be written. Now, obviously you can play test as you go. That makes sense. Obviously that's probably a sensible way of doing things. But just the wording of that, like the main rule book written, play tested, that sounds like they're using past tense. And when you think about things, really, it probably doesn't take that long to write a rule book, or at least a new edition of a game that already exists. Like, I think, when did they announce this? 2019, something like that? You know, you can probably write a rule book in 3 years and playtest it with some miniatures. I actually don't think it's the rule writing that takes the time. It's more the logistics and the production of the miniatures, as well as probably the designing of the miniatures. You know, it probably takes a while before they can be designed, created in a way where they have to be like injection molded and stuff like that. Probably is quite complicated. Then you've got the logistics of when are you going to have the time to manufacture them? How are they fitting in with all of your other products and stuff like that? Logistically, that sounds like a big challenge. Now, typically, other games and just industry like knowledge sort of implies that it takes at least 1.5 years, 2 years from things to go from the design to reality. That's when it's just sort of like one unit. When it's a whole entire like new product line, or well, we'll talk about what product lines might come in a different video, but when it's potentially a lot of different releases quite quickly, then obviously that time that it takes is going to go up. But I do think that this in general is a like positive statement. They do say this is truly a gargantuan product with lots to show off, as in they already have lots to show off. They're just not doing it now. But for now, we want to give you a glimpse of some of the amazing artwork. So here they're only giving us a glimpse, but they already have stuff to show off. This, I don't know, the wording of this and the phrasing of this sort of feels like the majority of the work is already complete. Now, maybe I'm just high on the old copium there or something, but I get good vibes from that statement. And then, of course, we have this bottom, like, you know, more to come. So that's it for now, but stay tuned to Warhammer community website for more information throughout 2023. This suggests we're not getting anything for the rest of this year, by the way, so, you know, that's going to be bad if you want more information, but it is what it is. Which is, of course, the 40th birthday year of the venerable game of Warhammer. Now, I do not know the history of Warhammer to know like what's true or whatever there, but that sort of makes sense. I think they made it in the 80s. I think it was a role-playing game at first that they sort of then like, well, actually, I don't think it was a role-playing game. Well, it was a role-playing game, but then I think Games Workshop started out making miniatures for D&D, then they made their own role-playing sort of game called Warhammer. I don't know the exact history of GW, don't hate me. There'll be people out there that like type in an angry essay. I don't care. But honestly, I just like, you know, it's not something I'm that interested in. However, it's the 40th anniversary. That makes sense. You've seen what they're doing with the 35th anniversary of like 40k. They may try and do something special for this, and maybe 2023 is the target they were always aiming for, and maybe it'll actually get released in 2023. It might be a bit crazy because I think they're probably going to do a new edition of 40k next year. Is that on the timeline? I did a video once where I like looked at all the like history of GW and when they were likely going to release things. 2023 would be very, very interesting though. Nice coinciding with that update, with that 40th birthday. Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. I think there's definitely reasons in here to think that a lot of the work has been completed. We are at the point where I think the video said like 3 years or more. Well, it has now been 3 years, and next year will be the more. And it would just make a lot of sense. Now, Games Workshop generally don't like to give you things too early. They don't want to start that hype train way too early before people get sick of the hype train. Generally, they have like very short windows of hype train, so you're interested in the models that they're currently doing there and then, and they're going to tease like the old world, but they're not going to give you enough to like really cling on and get your hype super excited until it's coming out. And next year might be the year. That hype train could be very, very real, and I am very much looking forward to it. I honestly wasn't really expecting it in 2023. I sort of personally, I was like, could it come this year? And I was like, no, it's not going to come this year, but I was like getting myself a little bit excited. And then I thought 2024 would be a safe bet, but 2023 would be, I don't know, it's looking more and more likely in my opinion. Obviously it's a complete guess. What Andy was saying there sounded like past tense. dice. The fact that it coincides with the 40th anniversary, I just think like the stars are aligning a little bit, and maybe we'll be rolling those dice next year. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I do hope you all have a most beautiful day. Like and subscribe. Goodbye.